Alright guys, got a lot to showcase today. First up, we're just going to start off right here with the soap. The shaving shop, the Savoy. And if you look down here, you can see it was made by Henri at Victoria out of Canada. And so this soap was from a time where Peter at Ariana and Evans, well, Ariana and Evans didn't exist at this time. It was just the shaving shop. Actually, this was before the club existed as well. So this was just the shaving shop, and basically what Peter did when he first opened, he wasn't making soaps of his own. He contracted, other artisans in the game to make an exclusive scent for him, And it was a pretty cool gig, I kind of liked the way that he went about it. But there was some inconsistencies, different artisans use different packaging, different artisans use different labels, and they were all coming together at the shop, and there was no consistency in product, you know what I mean? And that combined with other things and Peter's ambition to grow and whatnot, he eventually just started making his own soaps and all that. But this was from, the beginning, And so I always loved this scent. I always thought this was a good one. To me, honestly, I always thought it was based off this. I could be wrong, but I thought it was based off 1 million Privé, to be exact. And I don't know, maybe it's just because they're reminiscent. I could be wrong, but it's like this one has that kind of that sweet brandy type smell. And then there's kind of like that bergamot citrus and sweetness. Tobacco. I don't know. But it is sophisticated and it is masculine. And I think it's kind of like perfect for night times, cool weather, stuff like that. Yeah. So that's what we're using today, guys. Some, the Savoy right there. I got that in the Lancaster bowl. As always, we're going to be using my That Darn Rob with the Fanchurian there. And that's in the purple wood and black topper. Before we get going, though, we're going to be drinking a little bit of Valley Brewing Co.'s Futuristic. And this is a strawberry banana milkshake IPA. So let's go ahead and crack that bad boy. Oh, and look at that color. That's interesting. I think that that strawberry really brings a kind of pinkish hue to it. Very nice. Pretty good. I also had one of these bad boys earlier as well. It's probably the one you'll see on my Instagram. Oh, man, that just smells like a smoothie, like a fruit smoothie. That's fucking amazing. Fantastic. The strawberry comes through more than the banana, but the banana is there subtly, and then I feel like the hops are just kind of barely noticeable. Just give a little tingle. Real nice. Anyhow, new to the den, and the first maiden voyage right here of the Rec Supply Envoy razor. As you can see, that little scuff that I mentioned in my mail call video, little scuff right about there. You can kind of see it as it approaches the light. And then there was also another imperfection right around there on the bevel. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, right on that bevel. And that's about all the imperfections I found, but it was just right out of the gate, you know what I mean? Imperfections. Kind of not cool, and it's basically because their packaging can be improved. They basically just had some paper shreds to to stop it from shifting, but to be honest, this thing's hefty, and that probably didn't stop it from shifting whatsoever. It's not like it was densely packed. So yeah, packaging can be improved. That's probably my first immediate gripe. Other than that, the razor is handsome. It looks stunning. Has some of the best grip the best grip I've ever experienced. So I've heard people say it's sharp. I don't feel that way. Anyhow, let's get to lathering. We're already 5 minutes in, so let's get to lathering. So this is the maiden voyage with the Rex. I got a Polsilver Blade in there on its second use. And we'll just see how it goes. Haven't been using a whole hell of a lot of DEs lately, so it's kind of nice to get back into it with a brand new DE. The price, I picked it up at West Coast Shaving for $125, which for a premium, at least in my opinion, it looks like a premium offering. It's kind of built like a premium offering. I definitely feel like the kind of imperfections upon unboxing, that doesn't feel that doesn't feel premium to me, but you know, what are you gonna do? I could call and complain, but honestly, in a little, in a little bit of time, it's probably gonna have some imperfections on it just from normal use. It's kind of a waste of my time. And I'll never notice during the course of a shave, to be honest. I'm not gonna feel that slight scuff on the cap as I'm shaving. I feel like it's just more hassle than what it's worth. This is definitely what appears to be a high structure lather. And high structure is just that big, kind of cloudy, Santa Claus beard type lather, where it's just making gobs and gobs and gobs. But it's not necessarily dense. You know what I'm saying? I'm just adding more water. It looks like it can take it. It didn't seem like it had kind of that visible sheen I try to look for before putting it on my face. Although there was gobs and gobs of lather, I kind of wait until I see that sheen that indicates, this thing has some moisture in it. And now I think we're getting there, so we'll give that a go. My intros are getting longer and longer and longer. Alright, a little water on the face. Man, have you guys been seeing some of the brushes that Milton over at Turn and Shave has been cranking out? Now, I'm not even mentioning the one that I got recently, which I think is absolutely stunning. I'll just give you a little sneak peek. But, my buddy Jack over at the Virtual Groomroom, he got a red and wood kind of hybrid. Red and burl. And it was kind of like a translucent red. And that thing just looked fucking awesome. I mean, right up my alley. And then I believe on the bottom it actually had kind of like some notches kind of around where the coin sits, to make it almost look kind of like a crown if it was upside down or something. I don't know. That's the best way I could describe it, but it looks totally original and really cool. And then my buddy Corey from Shaving with Chief, he just got one in to match his jaw-dropping Max Sprecher razor, and it was pearl, white pearl, and then burlwood, and that thing just looked absolutely amazing. And it's like, holy crap, man. Milton's on fire. And, you know, I was thinking, this guy's got to take a break sooner or later. He's, he's just out of control right now. And then I see my buddy Wes post, my buddy Wes from Blade and Bearded, Blade and Bearded on Instagram. And he got a custom based on kind of like a BMW logo, kind of like an alternate logo. And it's not the kind of round one that you might think of immediately. It was kind of an alternate logo. And that one was just completely original too, like a different shape than I've seen, and just a cool colorway. Just fantastic, man. It was kind of like a dark blue, a light blue, and a red created the like base of the handle, and then the topper was like a white and black swirl, and it was just fucking awesome. All right, here we go. This thing has some heft to it, so I'm gonna do my best to just let the razor do the work. I gotta say, at least with the grain here, I'm really liking the feel of this thing. Yeah, I feel like it has this kind of very similar to the Vector type feel, where it's like it has blade feel, but it's kind of like in like an entry level type blade feel. It's there, but it's comfortable, and it's not like too much, you know, it's not overdoing it. And that first pass was effortless. Really, I feel like I nailed the angle right away, which is pretty cool when you're not like trying to find some like proprietary angle, and it's just kind of natural to throw it up to your face and it's there. I always appreciate that. It's kind of it's not always something people talk about or mention, but I always appreciate it when I have like new gear to the den and I can just throw it up to my face, and my, you know, past experience will lay that blade right at the perfect angle. That's always kind of like a nice feeling, you know what I mean? It's always kind of a pain when you get a new razor. You're all excited and stoked about it. Throw it up to your face, and the damn thing's uncomfortable. And you're wondering what the hell is going on here, so you got to do a little bit of experimentation and try to figure it out, which, you know, every razor is different, and it deserves that you give it some time to understand its ins and outs. But it is kind of nice when you get lucky and you get a razor that's just, the angle is so intuitive that you can kind of just throw it up to your face and it's there. It's right there. There's no, you know, there's no kind of like break-in period where you have to get used to the angle. It just kind of sits right where you would imagine it would sit, and you know, you're kind of off to the races. So this right here, I can tell it kind of has like a light to medium density. Yeah, It's high structure because it kind of immediately, just like upon a small addition of water, it just blows up into gobs of lather. But as far as the density goes, it has no weight on my face, and you can almost kind of see through it, you know. All right, against the grain, and I don't need my soaps to be dense because this has enough slickness. I don't think it's anything to write your buddies about, you know, but it's serviceable. It's good. It's probably why Rudd's, you know, is going into like over 100 scores, like 102 and 110 or whatever the hell he's at these days. Is because these scores, these other soaps, their scores really shouldn't go down if the scale is adjusted. Because if they were good then, they're still good now. That's something, you know, that I've pretty much said for quite a long time. I gotta be honest, guys, that feels great. That feel like, I really like that. I think it's like, it's kind of in that same range as the Vector, where I feel like it just meets this perfect balance of like blade feel. As far as efficiency goes too, like that area that I just went against the grain, that feels BBS. Let's finish the shave, but kind of get in the habit of stretching the skin now, even though I've moved on. I would say residual slickness is a little lacking. I could feel that right there as I'm going over some previously touched spots. That it's just not as slick as it was upon the original, you know, swipe while the product was still on the face. But I'll be damned if I didn't get a good shave, though. That was smooth. I'm BBS, guys. Looks like I nicked a little something down there, but smooth. I think I'm gonna really like this one. For $125, that is a affordable luxury. In my mind, when you're comparing to a lot of the offerings at kind of like a certain level of quality, it's kind of like, I don't know where you make that distinction of what is now considered like a premier razor or a kind of like, what would you call it, like a top tier, a luxury tier, you know? I would put this in that luxury tier, but it's like an affordable luxury because compared to some other razors that I would put it up against, I would say it's pretty damn achievable, you know what I mean? Put some money away for a couple weeks, I think you could get it. I don't know. That, at least that's my opinion. If I put money away for a couple weeks, I could probably nail this down, you know? I just impulse bought it, but I could if I had more will to save. All right, let's go ahead and dry this off. But yeah, first impression on that Envoy, I think the packaging needs to be improved. I don't see two ways about it. If you've seen my mail call video, my recent mail call video, I would just say there's kind of no two ways about it. It just had some like paper confetti type stuff to keep the razor from shifting, and there was just plenty of space for the razor to shift inside the box, and the confetti wasn't even like, it wasn't even in there dense enough to stop it from shifting. Kind of the cardboard box with the, you know, cheap stamp is fine. That's not what irks me really, because this isn't like marketed, well, it's not really an uber luxury offering, you know, for $125 it's not. So the cardboard box with the stamp on it isn't really what irks me. The fact that you couldn't put the industry standard foam insert that completely stops the product from shifting whatsoever. The fact that you couldn't put that in there for whatever it costs. If it's $5 more, make the damn razor $130. And if the foam insert, you know, only costed $1, just take that other $4 as profit. I don't give a damn, you know, just make sure that the razor shows up in pristine condition. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be opening it and finding flaws immediately. So packaging undoubtedly needs to be improved. But as far as the performance goes, this thing is right up my alley. At least on my first impressions. This thing is right up my alley. It has very comfortable and efficient blade feel. The blade feel is just a notch over, kind of, it's like the entry level to where you start feeling the blade. So it's comfortable. It's like a beginner's blade feel, you know what I mean? We got the matching aftershave here in this kind of dark blue bottle. Don't really see a lot of these anymore. And I actually think the aftershave in this case smells a little better than the soap. The soap itself was probably a 6 out of 10 off the puck. And it's one of those soaps where it's actually kind of like a 4 out of 10 once lathered. It kind of drops down a bit. But the soap smells great. I think the soap is actually fairly complex, in my opinion. And the aftershave just kind of kicks that up even a notch more. Oh man, good stuff. I really like this scent. Alright, so that's the Savoy. I think if you guys, if you see some of this, come across the BSTs, I wouldn't hesitate to grab it. I think it's fucking good stuff. So, little recap. Lancaster towel, the real deal. We used the Lancaster brush, or bowl here, which, keep your eyes out, guys. We also used the That Darn Rub with the purple wood. I always love this part right here, this kind of like arch that it has. And then the black topper and the beautiful Fanchurian badger knot. Then of course, the shaving shop's the Savoy, made by Henri at Victoria. And I believe it's based off 1 million Privé. I believe. I could be wrong, but I think they're similar. Then, of course, the Rex Envoy with a Polsilver Super Iridium in there. And that thing, I think it's an absolutely handsome razor. Best knurling in the game that I've came across anyhow. Handsome. I think it shaves beautifully. And I can't really say much bad about the razor, just about the packaging. I had a great first impression. Anyhow, that's it for me, guys. That was a fucking good one. Anyhow, have a good night, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.